Hey there, this is Carrie, and I just wanted to come on here to do a quick tutorial on the new update to prosthetic, and that is the studies table, which is for the research supporting the clinical benefits. So I wanted to just show you, it's available for all the products, and the clinical benefits are associated with an L code and not product specific. One thing to mention is that some of the studies may reference a particular product, but we're looking at product groups. So I'm just going to go down and pick a product. You would select the product family and then choose the variation, and then you can see the L codes that are either PDAC approved or recommended by the manufacturer. So you would click on those. We're looking at the echelon here. So the recommended codes are L5981 and L5968. So if we click on L5981, there's the details page for that, which goes over the description, the clinical justification, the instruction manual, and then listed down here are the 3 clinical benefits associated with L5981. And those are terrain adaptation, enhanced forward progression, and gait efficiency. So when you click on the clinical benefit, you'll see the functional problem addressed, the clinical benefit statement, and the typical patient scenario, as well as the button for adding the benefit to design. That's associated with the prosthetic design app, which I'll go over in another video. But then also you'll see the view supporting evidence button here. And when you click on that button, it'll show you the supporting evidence for that clinical benefit. So up top is the title of the study, and this one says, Increasing Prosthetic Foot Energy Return Affects Whole Body Mechanics During Walking on Level Ground and Slopes. And then you've got the year and the authors, the evidence summary, which is kind of like the abstract, and then the notes. So in this study, it looked at the effects of 2 energy storing and return prosthetic feet during level, uphill, and downhill walking. Now, it does talk about some specific products, the ProFlex foot versus the VeriFlex foot. And the authors found that there was increased range of motion, allowed the foot to better conform to sloped terrain while maintaining energy return and propulsion, and that these findings suggest that advanced carbon fiber, it uses the term ESAR, which is energy storing and return foot, designs may improve the user's ability to accommodate changes in terrain encountered during community ambulation. Now, the interesting thing, and I'm just going to bounce out of here for 1 second, is that it's talking about the ProFlex and the VeriFlex. And just for our purposes here, I wanted to just take a peek at those just to see which ones, what the recommended L codes for those 2 feet were. So let me just type in the search bar ProFlex. So these are both Oser feet. Okay, so I believe that the original ProFlex all by itself was an older version, but you've got the ProFlex XC and you've got the VeriFlex. So both the ProFlex XC, which is one of the ones that doesn't have, this ankle joint or a torsion adapter or any other version of the ProFlex. So if you look at the ProFlex XC, the recommended code from the manufacturer is L5981. And then if you go down and look at the VeriFlex, similar like grouping, just different design. It's also recommended for the L5981. So again, sometimes the research will mention a specific product, but these are not product specific research. It has to do with product groups. So I just want to go back down to the echelon and get back to where we were in the L5981 and then the terrain adaptation and looking at that supporting evidence. So the study concluded, or this article may support the clinical benefit of terrain adaptation because the authors evaluated energy storage and return for prosthetic feet during level, uphill, and downhill walking, and found that the ProFlex demonstrated greater range of motion and improved conformity to sloped terrain compared with a traditional energy storing and return foot. The increased deformation of the carbon fiber structure allowed the foot to better accommodate changes in surface angle while maintaining energy return and propulsion. And these findings suggest that advanced energy storing and return prosthetic feet may enhance the user's ability to adapt to various terrain encountered during community ambulation. Now, if you want to look at the study, there's a little link down here where you click open full text, and it will open the PDF for the study so that you can read it. The criteria that I selected for all of these studies is that I wanted it to be publicly available. So almost every single one can be cited on PubMed, and I tried to use studies that were publicly accessible. If for whatever reason the open link does not work, you should be able to take the title and copy and paste it into a search like Google Scholar and find the full text to read it. And so, just as a reminder, it's our job to justify each and every one of these clinical benefits. But I went and did a lot of research for these clinical benefits, and I wanted to find ones that were supported by literature. So, same thing with enhanced forward progression, view the supporting evidence, a slightly different study, differentiation between solid ankle, cushioned heel, and energy storing and returning prosthetic feet based on step-to-step transition cost. So same thing, same process for looking at all of those clinical, all those studies. You would just go into the details page and click on the clinical benefit and hit view supporting evidence. And it should be for every single product in there. Now, I would love to expand this database in the future. Right now, I only have one study per clinical benefit. I would love to expand it to include additional benefits that could be supported and to include additional studies so that there's multiple studies per clinical benefit. And then also I touched on the button for adding a product to prosthetic design. I will go through that process in a separate video, but that's to add it to the prosthetic design workflow so that you can add the clinical benefits to your documentation. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.